Since many of you liked my first game analysis video, I decided to make another one from a match many weeks ago. Here comes Pepe. Welcome everybody! In this analysis I will try to teach a few neat tricks about eFootball that many people probably don't know, especially about a few ways to super cancel, but also some basic stuff like dribbling, dummy run, or dragging defenders out of position. Before starting the actual game, I thought I'd show you an interesting goal from another game I had because it fits with the super cancel theme. Messi to Vieira, nice pass to Musiala. Goal. Now let's have a closer look what actually happened here. Stopping here, you can see that my pass was actually aimed at Neymar because I thought he would get back quick enough. I then quickly realized that he wouldn't, super cancelled and moved him out of the ball's way. Only because of this, there was no offside and Musiala could score. You see, super cancel has a massive impact and can make the difference between goal or no goal. If you watch the video until the end, you'll see 3 more super cancel tricks that can win games on their own. Now, let's start with the actual game. This here was my team and this was his team. So my team was quite a bit better, so with equal teams the game could have gone differently. I start with something really small, an attack by me. Neymar with a through ball, but I fail the double touch block and the ball is lost. What I want to show you here is what I did with Neymar. Many people just instantly through ball as soon as the player gets the ball. Instead of doing this, I turn away and keep the ball briefly. This not only leads to Musiala being further up now, it also dragged De Ligt out of position. Look how De Ligt still hasn't caught up here. Then my opponent launches an attack. Thuram is following the opponent, but then failing to block. Vieira with the save. This is gonna be really interesting. So I have no idea what I did with Wan-Bissaka here. The bigger threats are above, but I somehow decided to move downwards, gifting my opponent space. This was horrible and made no sense. Then I'm using a second player to pressure and prepare Thuram to block the shot. Unfortunately, Thuram fails to block the shot. I have 2 explanations for this. The first one is, maybe I was just a bit too far to the left. Maybe it was just my fault. The second explanation is spicy. So what I say now is highly speculative, just so you know. There is a hypothesis that shots are sort of predetermined. What I want to say with this is that the game knows where the ball goes way before the ball is even traveling. If you look at this now, Vieira is facing forward. As soon as the power bar from my opponent's shot has filled, Thuram starts the failed blocking attempt animation, but also Vieira all of a sudden starts sprinting back exactly into the future trajectory of the ball, which he could not have known by any means unless he knows the future. There's no reason for him to suddenly change direction like this and sprint backwards just exactly where the ball is going to. So maybe Thuram just didn't block it because the game determined Vieira to do it. Another indicator for this would be Ter Stegen's animation. Look, even now, he's still idle. He's not jumping, almost like he knew he didn't have to. And once Vieira blocks it, he somehow goes down. Let me know in the comments whether you think I'm seeing things here or if this is really what could have happened. Moving on, there's another chance by my opponent. Vieira has no PP left for another future side, so he doesn't quite get the ball. Neither does Zakaria. Thuram is also late and then a bit unlucky. Then an absolutely brilliant ball from my opponent, but Ter Stegen saved it. Honestly, this deserved a goal. The only thing he could have done differently is to instantly shoot, because if you look here, this is the angle he could have had, but with the additional bounce of the ball, the angle changed for the worse. It's hard though, because if you load the power bar too early, you'll make a header instead. So I'm lucky it's still a draw. Then a nice interception from the redeemed seer Vieira. I pass to Messi, double touch too early, the ball is lost. And then all of a sudden this. Suddenly I lead. Not sure why this happened. Maybe here I gave him the impression that I'd cover the keeper, but thanks to Messi's 103 acceleration, I could still turn and cover the player. Not much to say about this. Another chance for my opponent. Ball misses the goal, good for me. So we're at halftime now, and if you look at the stats, my opponent was in control of the game. Next up is a counterattack by my opponent. but I managed to get back the ball. I want to show you what I actually did here because it's something I like to do and I think it works a lot of times. First, I pull back the defender to let my opponent believe there is not much pressure up front and he can keep running. Then I call for pressure to give him some pressure from behind and to make sure the pass upwards is contested. Then I move a bit forward to suggest I'm waiting for the short pass here. And then at the first part of the dribbling animation, just when he has touched the ball and is stuck in that animation, I go for the tackle. So then I decided that it wouldn't hurt to attack myself maybe. Long ball to Bernardo, who gives it to Bellingham. Bad through ball. I take the ball regardless. And now I lead by 2. Now, was this just random and lucky? No, it was a super cancel. You know, when the ball is traveling and your player is chasing it, your player is on rails most of the time. However, you can derail him using super cancel, and that's exactly what I did. Look how I super cancel and change direction to run in front of him just when I expected his pass. People are not used to dealing with this because only very few people actually take advantage of this. Then of course, he's lucky that it bounces back to him. Then I'm lucky to get it back, but you saw super cancel alone got me this goal. And now I'm leading by 2, which is also a very important mental advantage. Next scene, my opponent is attacking again, but Costa Curta wins the ball. Then I'm kind of in a bad place, but the classic dummy run helps me out. Then I try to make the game quick. Neymar to Bellingham, down to Messi. Now Neymar starting a run, but a beautiful sliding tackle stops the attack. Now let's check this entire thing again. The dummy run only worked so well because this player here came back, which made my opponent believe that I would pass there. Here, it's actually my mistake. At this point, I have to be aware that he will do the sliding tackle and anticipate it. But I admit I wasn't good enough for that. Because while this sliding tackle is beautiful and the correct choice in like 99 out of 100 games, against a pro player it probably isn't. Had I super cancelled at this moment, I could have moved one step southeast and then through ball, and Neymar had so much overspeed that he would have had a great chance, maybe even a goal. Again, super cancel would have resulted in a goal. Then my opponent attacks again with a nice opening stunning cross to the wing. I pull Costa Curta back and call for pressure just like before, which got me the ball. I then stop another attack and quickly counter. And again, I use the dummy run. Then I pass it back. Musiala to Neymar to Bellingham. Then I change direction to shoot, hit the post, and then yeah, a bit unlucky that I hit the post, but everything after this was just super unlucky for my opponent. I felt bad for him at this point. So let's recap this. I think here was the best chance to pass up to this player, but I didn't like the angle and the ball would have probably traveled too long. That's why I kept running, and once the defender came a bit closer, I stopped. So I saw that my opponent had 2 players close to Messi and another one approaching from behind, and I also saw that on the other hand 3 of the other players were close to exactly 3 of my guys. So with the pass into space on the other side, I give my opponent 2 choices. He either approaches me leaving Musiala unmarked, or he stays with Musiala but leaves Costa Curta all the space in the world. He came close, so Musiala was still kind of free because the defense wasn't completely formed yet. Last thing, my direction change here. Most people will always expect you will move towards the side where the player has the stronger foot. So moving to the other side can surprise them. Bellingham has an amazing weak foot accuracy, so I pulled this move. Next up, some footage for the dribblers among us. At first, I just turned away to get the space. Then, when De Ligt is nearby, I again turn away and try to go backwards, but keep him close so he follows. At this point, my player has 3 of the opponents occupied, one of them being a center back that is now completely out of position. My pass to Neymar is good, but then my dribbling made no sense. I should have not dribbled there, but immediately passed the ball down. So I got a free kick, which was indeed for free because I don't think there was a foul. I think my aiming was okay. I should have used a bit more power, but from 31 meters with Messi against Donnarumma is hard. Now see how I win the ball here. So what happened? This is another super cancel trick that can unexpectedly win you balls, sometimes even far up the pitch. Even though I know the Pole has no chance to contest this ball, I move towards my opponent's player to make him believe I would come close. But then I super cancel and move him right where I expect the ball to go. There you go, my ball now, thanks to super cancel. Then my opponent did a really nice dribble that I think you should see. Great shielding by Neymar. He keeps Neymar in front really nicely, but I still managed to get the ball. What I want to show you here is how important it is to switch from matchup to sprint when necessary and not just hold matchup all the time, because it can slow you down. From here on, I prepared Thuram for the block, especially because Vieira isn't behind us this time. So here you see Thuram with the typical matchup animation. But as soon as Neymar is almost past me, I switch to sprint to keep up with him. This is important because if I don't do this, he might get ahead just enough so he has a free shot at the goal. Not 100% sure if it's that way here, but you get the point. Then a quick counterattack from me. Through ball to Neymar. He passes to Messi and I lead by 4. So besides his defender acting weird here, I think that him calling the second player for pressure is not the best choice, because that pulled both of them to the ball and gave Neymar a free run. In this situation, you know, it happens to all of us that we sometimes call for pressure and then see, okay, that wasn't too good. There's 2 things I think he could have done. The first one, probably the worst option, is to run backwards with the player he controls and let the other one approach the pole. The best option, however, in my opinion, would be to quickly manually switch between these 2 players. You know, just right stick down, right stick up instantly, because this will revoke the call for pressure. This way, he could stay on the pole with the player he controls and have the other player mark Neymar. At this point, it's not easy to defend anymore. I think the best option could be to keep the keeper in the goal and try to move Di Marco close to Neymar to be able to block both a pass and a shot. But it's really hard to accurately assess this beforehand, especially in the heat of the moment. Then another chance for my opponent, a nice dribble in close quarters followed by a good shot, and he scores. Very deserved at this point. To be honest, other than being a bit too passive overall, I don't think I made any crucial mistake here. My opponent just played that really well. I'm not sure why Wan-Bissaka was so far away from the opponent though. Had he been closer, I might have been able to contest earlier. Maybe some interaction with Thuram, I don't know. Then I got a chance out of nowhere. Keeper saves, and here's another, although not as important, way to super cancel. To stay away from the ball to either save stamina or get a corner kick. From this very corner kick, I get another chance. I go for a basic 1-2. And I score. Not much to say about this one. After this, my opponent then had another chance, but Costa Curta blocked. The last chance in the game was for me, and again super cancel makes a difference. Unfortunately, instead of moving down, I made a double touch that made no sense. So here, instead of passing immediately, I super cancel the pass and move up a bit to pass a bit later. This not only kept De Ligt busy, but it also gave the Paul more time to move forward. You see, the Paul is pretty far now, and De Ligt is still far back. That's it, folks. Let me know if you liked this video. I'd love you subscribed, liked, or commented. Until then, guys, take it easy. Shaka!